Oh, hi. This week on Minifigure Monday, I have what I'm sure you can guess are some very special minifigs to me. Some of my personal favorites. That's why I have them displayed on my very special old school OG moon base plate here. Because they're all space themed. But for the most part, here I have most of my any minifig that has a Mandalorian helmet, my collection of R2 units, and other little droids, my collection of different C3POs, my collection of Anakin's evolution into Darth Vader, and my personal, very, very favorite collection of Senator Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine, and Darth Sidious minifigs. If you don't know, that's my favorite fictional character of all time in any media is Palpatine. I wouldn't know this would be like an hour long video if I really went on about all of these. So I guess I'll just do some honorable mentions, he says, knowing that he wants to talk about every single one of these. Some of these are the newer Mandalorians that came out in some of the sets from the Mandalorian television show. So I love the blend of the different colors. We have the Armorer here with her spiky helmet. And then, of course, we recently got this guy here. What's his name? I don't know. I can't remember his name. But this spiky helmeted dude with the nice Darth Maul-ish design that I like very much. So that's gnarly. Yeah, I guess I should try and keep these. Bo-Katan, of course. Oh, she dropped her helmet. I have her holding her helmet just because that's cooler. I think it's that. Yeah, that's how I had it. You've got Bo-Katan and her gnarly little helmet there. Was a nice addition to my collection. I liked getting that starship that she came with. Oh, yep, let's go back here. Oh, this guy back here. I love the fact that I own this guy. Oh, come on now. Minifig now. I love the fact that I own this guy. Again, I'm such a huge Star Wars fan, but I've been such a huge Star Wars fan for almost 40 freaking years that I can't keep track of all these new characters we get every darn week. But this, to me, is my Jon Favreau minifig. So, him being the director of one of the greatest comedies of all time, Made. I love having his minifig. Most of these have well, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of them have no face. If you've never seen their face, then they don't give them a face. Some of them have faces. I've got these other Darth Maul guys. And these came with a Clone Wars set. Need better lighting here. These came with a Clone Wars set from the Clone Wars television series, which also came with the Darth Maul with the robotic legs. That is a very very nice minifig to own. That was the first one that ever came with the Darksaber. I still say they need to update that darn Darksaber. We've got some... Are these Death Watch? Night Watch? Whatever the heck they're called. We got all kinds of different ones. This guy... Oh, that's one of the newer ones. But these, I believe, are older. These are from the older set from, I don't know, about 10, 12 years ago? Something like that. So we got all these different Mandalorians. Who else? Who else? Who else? Okay, we've got the original Mandalorian minifig. Nope, that's not him. This is the original Mandalorian minifig with his garb before he got his updated Beskar armor. And then this is when he gets the Beskar armor, and he even has his little tribe of two. Forgive my unprofessionalism and shoddy camera, but he's got the little tribe of two symbol on his shoulder there. I love the arm printing. I was very excited when this minifig came out because we were getting arm printing. It was absolutely fantastic looking. I was like, when are you gonna do one where we finally see Din Djarin's face? And then we finally got that. Well, he's currently displayed in my N1 customized starfighter that he gets. There's some really special ones here, though, that you might notice. Here's the evolution of Boba Fett. All 4 of these are totally different Boba Fetts. So you'll notice the differences, whether it be in his gloves, in his cape, or some of the printing. I always wanted that original, now one of the most valuable minifigs there are, that one Boba Fett that had arm printing and was the first to have arm printing. But now that we have a new Boba Fett with arm printing, I'm finally satisfied. And then you see this one, slightly different printing on his armor, and different cape. And then they might have different colored jetpacks, but you'll notice that the color tone is slightly different. And then this one, we've got, again, different cape, different color tone. Some of them will have different faces. This one's got the more traditional I'm Boba Fett scarred up face, as to where some of the others, what's he got? Yeah, this is just more of a I'm a clone trooper face. So first they busted out that face for the Boba Fett, and then they updated his face to more of a Boba Fett-esque face, and then this one being the newest from the Book of Boba Fett, where I finally got myself a arm-printed Boba Fett. So you got his little flamethrower, his little logo there. Oh, come on now. But that's pretty gnarly. And then his face is Timo Morrison. I mean, come on now. I don't want your armor. I want my armor. So that's cool. That's the newest one that came with that Slave one about a year or two ago. This one is the prototype Boba Fett, as some of you may know, when they designed the costume back in 78, 79. Before his debut on the holiday special, he went on a parade route, and it was just this. And we got some printing on the back behind the jetpack there. But all white, because he was supposed to be just a super stormtrooper, pretty much. And then Lucas wanted to make him more distinct, so they gave him some color. But this came exclusively in one of the Lego encyclopedias, which I have every iteration of the Lego encyclopedias. Well, I should say the Star Wars minifigure Lego encyclopedias, and each one comes with an exclusive minifig. So one came with this guy, and of course I've got 2 copies of each one so that I could open one and have the minifig for play and display, and then keep one in mint condition in case, you know, because sometimes some of these minifigs end up being worth something. Like this guy. This is the original Boba Fett that came in Jabba's Palace. One of the Jabba's Palace sets that I got. They had like 3 different sets back in 99, 2000, where you get all 3 and you can pretty much build Jabba's Palace. There was a big one, but I think this particular one came in one of the littler ones, because I don't think I had the big one. And he just has black headpiece, and the helmet and jetpack are one piece. So this one's a more rare and harder to find and a little bit valuable, I'm thinking. However, supposedly this guy, from what I've been told, is the most valuable minifigure I own. And depending on who you ask, is worth around $300. The original Jango Fett, released in 2002, that came with the original Jango Fett Slave 1. And one of the first, Zam Wessel, I believe, was the official first, but they came out at pretty much the same time, just like that one dude from Harry Potter. One of the very first, well, I guess this, okay, I'm telling a lie, technically. This isn't a dual printed head mold, because it's just black, but you just turn his head around when he's got the helmet. And he came with a hairpiece, if I remember correctly. Then you take the helmet off, turn his head around. Boba, pack your things. We're leaving. Oh my gosh. I'm so terribly sorry. But yeah, you get the idea. So this particular minifig is one of my most valuable minifigs. The original Jango Fett. It only came in that one set. Here we've got my, I got a couple of new additions to my droids. We've got this little guy from Mandalorian, not from the video game. We've got Dio, voiced by J.J. Abrams. Thank you very much. No touching. All right, no thank you. You know what I mean. And then I just love the collection of droids and how many different molds they've made. And how unique each one is. So, of course, you've got BB-8. BB-8 is so adorable. Just two simple pieces. I remember when they had to, make this new piece for BB-8's head. And it's always exciting when Lego makes a new piece, especially, or a new mold, I should say. Especially for a minifig. Because sometimes pieces like this, I believe both the body and the head at the time were brand new mold pieces. But then Lego will go on to use such molds and pieces for other things and other sets. Then you have the black one for the Last Jedi, a fantastic Star Wars movie. Probably the best Star Wars movie, quality-wise, that we will ever see. Yep, that's what I said. Go ahead, blow up my comments about how stupid I am. I had somebody in the last video about the everyone is awesome set. The one that's about diversity and inclusiveness and it's okay whatever your sexual orientation is. They literally commented on the video, "That's gay." I thought that was so funny because I'm assuming they meant it as like an insult. But, I took it quite literal. I'm like, yes, that is gay. Isn't that wonderful? I love when things are gay, because what's wrong with that? You frickin' artard. Anyway, this is, oh, yeah, I think this is worth something. This is Chopper. Chopper only came in a couple of sets, and I got one of the, this one came in the elusive, the little, not the ghost ship, but the little ship that comes out of the ghost ship, and that's the set that also comes with Blind Kanan. He's displayed elsewhere. And one of my other most valuable minifigs, the one and only time they made a Grand Admiral Thrawn. So I do indeed have a Thrawn. This is the original, well, not the original, this is one of the original R4s, I think? And this came with one of the Obi-Wan sets? Or no, actually, I don't think this is technically R4, because that one just had his head. I think this came in like one of the, this is like just a generic red R2 unit that came with, I think it was one of the Y-Wings I got back in like 99, 2000, something like that. And then we've got the black one, which I love. Now note that none of these will have back printing because we just got the R2-D2 with the trash compactor, which was the first ever R2 unit to have back printing. Is that true? Yeah. Sorry, for a second I thought maybe Chopper had printing. Then this is, of course, R5-D4 from A New Hope, who, if you don't know the backstory, he was actually a rebel spy, and he blew his motivator on purpose when R2-D2 asked him. If you check out in the background of Episode 4, A New Hope, you'll notice that R2-D2 is talking to him after Uncle Owen chooses him, and he's like, "Hey, man, you gotta do something, because I need to be the one chosen so that I can go talk to Obi-Wan." And so he did that on purpose, and it's nice to see his return. Whoa! Sorry about that. It's nice to see his return on The Mandalorian, and it looks like I just saw his appearance in the trailer for season 3 that just dropped. Looks very interesting. That had Babu Frick. I mean, come on now. I don't have Babu Frick. That'd be awesome. This is, I have no idea what this is. I think this must be from like a Rebels or Clone Wars set or something. I have no idea where this one came from. I'm not gonna lie. No idea what set this came from, but I love the color. Gorgeous. So we've got some more. This is the newer type R2-D2s. As in more recent, at least. So we've got that R2-D2. Fantastic when you can notice the evolution of his dome. So that was a little older, but a little newer. I think this is one of the newest ones. But not the newest, obviously, because I have the trash compactor one. But he's got more of the silver, more accurate dome. Much like this one. So just seeing the evolution of R2-D2 throughout the years. But I like this one. This was, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago. and it was one of the first reiterations. They've made this set so many times of the escape pod. But I like to keep with him one of my favorite exclusive pieces of the Death Star plan. So we got the Death Star plans that came with that set. I just think that's really cool. I mean, they didn't have to make this, especially a printed piece. So maybe that's worth something. Who knows? It's worth a lot to me. That's all that matters. This was my original, very first R2-D2 from, over 22 years ago. So you'll notice the difference in the evolution of the heads. Whoop! Because they started with almost, very minimal printing around the top there. And then they got the printing a little more all over the head. And then they were able to hone in the colors a little bit more. So R2-D2 being my second favorite Star Wars character. So first is Palpatine. My second favorite Star Wars character is R2-D2. This 3PO with the red arm is one of my favorite 3POs ever, because it has some of the most printing on any minifig ever, but definitely the most printing, except for maybe now we have a brand new one that came with that huge land speeder that might have some like toe printing, I think. But this has side arm printing, side leg printing, waist printing, leg printing. And we're talking both arms. The detail on this, and this was an exclusive poly bag that might have only been Toys R Us. Anyway, I have like a handful of the poly bags still mint condition of this 3PO. But this was to promote a little movie called The Force Awakens. So I got 2 of those on display for some reason. Because I'm so proud of them, that's why. And then this is a couple of more of the updated 3POs. You had, this was, I believe, like the second iteration when they finally, got them a little more accurate with the gold color. More accurate with the color wiring and the printing. But after this is a little more recent where he's finally got the silver part in his leg from A New Hope. Where he had that one silver piece. So those are gnarly, but this was the original C-3PO. You see the difference there? I mean, come on. That was back in 99, I think. So, big difference, especially once they started coloring in the eyes. That went a long way. But you can tell, like, these were the first 3PO R2 together. They've come a long way, eh? They've come a long way. Now, this is where things get really interesting. My first ever scarred Anakin. Back in 2005. Came with that Darth Vader transformation set. So look at that detail on his face of how burnt up and scarred he is. I hate you! Okay? Then, the next time they made one in another set, they upgraded it. Look at this bad boy. This is one of my favorite minifigs of all time. Look at how messed up that is. Like, he is like, oh my goodness. The detail on this minifig for burnt up, ticked off, I'm on fire and I hate Obi-Wan Kenobi Anakin. Like, look at that. That's absolutely fantastic. And you see the difference. They're depicting the same scene. Oh my gosh. I gotta get some professionalism around here sometime. Who cares? It's not like there's 100 people watching this. Yeah. So those are cool. Especially the differences in his facial expressions. But then, the newest one, they said, let's add even more detail. Okay, he's got robot legs. Robot hands. Look at that. It's more of a flesh tone. And you can see more detail with his tore up clothes. Like, he got cooked. Cooked like a marshmallow. Look at it in the back of the head. See, these, neither of these had back of the head. This was the first time they said, you know what, let's continue the printing to the back of the head. You even see that huge gash that you see in Return of the Jedi when his helmet gets taken off. So the amount of detail they went into this, it's like I said, it's awesome to see the evolution of where it's like, well, I already have that minifig. Yeah, but you don't have one like this. And then that's how they get you. Next thing you know, you have a collection of one particular minifig. So now we got battle damaged Darth Vader. This is the only time they've done this. Now I'm hoping that they do another one, a more updated version of this, after pretty much getting to see it in live action for the first time on Obi-Wan Kenobi. But this particular minifig, oh, I love the printing on his face. This particular minifig came with the Star Killer set from the first Force Unleashed video game. When that game came out, LEGO started doing expanded universe sets. Some from the Old Republic, and some from the new Force Unleashed video game. So this was an exclusive minifig that only came in that set, and it's depicting when you fight Vader at the end of the game. So you've got battle-damaged Darth Vader with such fantastic printing on his face, showing, you know, just pieces of his helmet left over, but then you get that old-school Vader helmet look, as you can see, very similar for comparison of the original. And the really interesting thing about this is what they use for his remnants of the helmet. It doesn't really fit perfectly. LEGO likes to cheat sometimes. But this is a scuba diver mask that would go on an underwater diver helmet. And that's the front there. So they used that piece, turned it on a highly inaccurate way, and said, now go ahead and pop his head on. And you've got battle-damaged Vader's helmet. It's the creativity that LEGO has sometimes. It blows my mind. And then you continue. I believe this is my first Vader. This is the first rendition of Vader. Very simple with the chest design. The original lightsabers were chrome silver. And then they stopped doing that. Drove me nuts. That's how I know when my lightsabers are old and valuable, is when they're chrome silver. So this one has a more, you know, simple helmet. Come on, camera, you're killing me. Killing them. Who's still watching, right? Nobody's hung around for this long. So you got your simpler face, okay? And then they were like, okay, next Vader, we got to up the ante. And you get your next Vader. Now this one's got a cape. That one didn't have a cape for some reason. For some reason that set didn't come with the cape. But you also get a cape, same helmet, same chest piece, same face. Okay? Moving on. Shutting up. I'm going to get excited about the last one, so I better hurry it up. This video's already way too long. I know this. You got this Vader. Okay, we got a lightsaber. Different hill. That's when they stopped using the shiny. But the chest printing, much more detailed. Much more detailed. As you can see, we got the belt, finally. Finally, we got Vader's belt on this one. And they updated his face a little bit. Give him some more character around the eyes. And then, this Vader... this came with the DVD of one of the first LEGO Star Wars specials. And in that little movie, at the end, the Emperor gives him a medal. So this is an exclusive, only came with a DVD. These little discs that we used to buy to watch things. So this is a very exclusive chest piece with the Imperial emblem on his little medal there. So very, very proud to own that one. And then finally, not only did they start doing, because then you got this, that's old school. We're good with that. They finally started doing flesh tone, well, not flesh tone, but his pale white, a more accurate depiction of Vader's face. And even the, like I said, the gash in the back there. Fantastic, fantastic printing. Isn't this really entertaining, watching this just go blurry and then not blurry and then blurry and not blurry? Thanks for bearing with me. You get the idea. But when they introduced this new helmet piece, where you have the collar here that's got the bottom part to make it way more accurate, like in Return of the Jedi when Luke takes off his helmet, and then you have the second piece of the helmet to perfectly fit on. I was so excited, and I was like, I gotta get one of those helmets. but it only came in like the huge throne room, expensive $200 whatever set. But one thing I've learned is I gotta stop just buying a minifig that only comes in one huge set, because like a year later they'll release that minifig in a smaller set. That's what would happen with Snoke. You can only get Snoke in that huge set, and then a year later they released Snoke in a smaller set. But it's still only 2 sets that Snoke has come in, I think. And here's another of the newer, more detailed, because then they started doing printing on the legs. So this is the most recent iteration of Vader that has the most printing, even arm printing. Oh, I love it. Love it. So yeah, I like that. He's got a little smile. This is like Return of the Jedi. Luke saved him. Yeah. All right. Now, last but not least, Mr. Palpatine himself. This came with a little Return of the Jedi set that I had back in '99. This is the very first iteration of the Emperor when they were still yellow. That's right, I have a yellow Emperor. Look at that adorable face with those beady yellow eyes. And he came with a very simple cane, and the printing very similar to Luke Skywalker Jedi from Return of the Jedi. But I'm very proud of my original Palpatine. This was a gift. Someone gave me, my brother at the time gave me a random, it was one of those tri-fighters. It was one of those robot fighters from episode 3. So it didn't even make any sense that a minifigure came with it whatsoever. It was a droid mini fighter. And for some reason it came with this